go over to the SEC, Georgia versus LSU in the Mercedes-Benz Dome or Stadium.
Mercedes Stadium. Yep,
Yeah,
stadium. The dome
2
is now
p.m.
loaded.
2 p.m. on CBS. I had Georgia, Alabama as my predictions to start the year. I think you did as well as did Ethan.
Sure did.
This LSU coming off a loss might have been looking ahead a little bit after losing to A&M. Georgia's got to take care of business, run through them. I know LSU is a team that likes, they got to make sure on Georgia's end they got to shore up the edges. Georgia or LSU is a team that likes to get out on the edge, kind of showcase their speed, which Georgia has done a really good job of their lateral sideline to sideline. The way they're able to cover, I think this could be a bad matchup for LSU, and I don't think Brian Kelly quite has the horses yet to make this game competitive. And this is that's a little bit of a sign of a young, immature team. They had the East
The West.
West clinched, and then they go absolutely lay an egg against Texas A&M and lose. And I figured out too. I think if Georgia loses to LSU, who just lost to Texas A&M last week, I'm sorry, but the SEC shouldn't get a team in. I don't care that they're the best conference, but if you're Georgia and you lose to a team that lost to a lifeless Texas A&M team, who has players tweeting that the only reason they went to Texas A&M is because they got the bag,
Whoa,
you don't
wait a
deserve to
minute.
be in.
You mean Grant was right when he said in May that this recruiting class was phony and they only went there because they got the bag? You're kidding.
No, I
Oh,
know.
well, who would have
Where,
saw that coming?
Chalk
Oh,
one up
wait.
for where Grant was right.
Yeah, where Grant was right. We've been right a few times so
We
far this
have.
year, Dylan. And you're feeling good about that. If I'm a LSU dude, what scares me is how I let Texas A&M run all over me last year with a running back for Texas A&M who was injured and did his best to even get on the field, and you made him look like an all SEC running back. What's the number one or a top 5 rushing team in Georgia going to do this year against you in a home game, an hour away from their campus? And then also, you're telling me Kirby Smart? I know Orgeron's not there. Chase, Burrow, Jefferson, Thaddeus Moss, Grant Delpit, Patrick Queen. But the last time Georgia was in this SEC title game and they played LSU, they got embarrassed 37-19.
And it wasn't that close either.
It wasn't that close either. And you know what? Last year, Kirby Smart, they blew an opportunity at a perfect season because they walked into an SEC title game thinking this, if we lose, that's okay. We're still in. We still have a shot at what we want. No, their mission this year was to go a perfect 15-0, and it started week 1 against Oregon, went throughout the whole year. They hit a little lull where they barely beat the Missouri Tigers 26-22 there in October, but then what they did to Tennessee, 3-4 weeks ago, this Bulldogs team is on a mission, and I don't really see this game being close. I think Georgia is going to win by, wait for it, 3 touchdowns. And it's going to be like a 42-14 type game. They're just better. LSU, they're going to be happy they won the West title. That Brian Kelly did a lot in year 1 when after that Florida State game you thought there's no way they're going to win 5 games this year. But
Which is actually looking like a pretty good loss because I think Norvell finally
like a
got
good
some
loss.
things clicking there.
Yeah, because what the Seminoles, they finished 9-3 on the year,
Something
and
like that, yeah.
I think their last loss was to Clemson in mid-October.
Yep.
But yeah, Georgia should just show up, dominate, go home, be the number 1 team in the college football playoff, and then know after they win that game, they'll be like, well, with USC playing on Friday, we're either playing USC or Ohio State, so let's go.
Yeah, I agree.
And also, I was with you. I also, in the start of the year, had Alabama, Georgia, in the SEC title game.
Yeah, I don't see this game being close. I think Kirby Smart is going to have those guys ready to play. That is a veteran group down in Athens, returning national champions. They seem to shook off little bit of that hangover they had, that mid-season lull that you see a lot of teams that are coming off a national championship face. They're rolling and they're focused. They know what's at stake. Win, we get the 1 seed. We're playing, we'll be playing either USC or TCU if it goes by chalk.